Alrighty. Yo, what's up? How's it going? Check it out. I got a bad camera. How is it going, my friends, my people? Anybody who's watching this after the fact, thanks for that. I'm just hanging out. I think most people, there's nobody else here except for me. I'm watching myself. But this is my monthly Q&A. This is a benefit I do for supporters. Obviously, there's not that much interest yet, but it's something that I'm doing, and I hope that some people get some entertainment out of it. But I didn't really get that many questions this month. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have the time to prepare for this like I normally do. We had a crazy month over in Turkey, and then just moved back over here to the States, or didn't move, but came back over here in the States 2 days ago. So that was like a 24-hour trip. Lots of stuff went wrong. I had to be putting stuff together. As you can see, my camera no longer works, or rather my cam link. So I'm using a webcam until I can afford to get that replaced. But for now, just hanging out, just kind of trying to get things back on track, get back to a good workflow. And really going to talk about a lot of what's going on with the future of like this whole thing. Over the next month, there's a lot that's going to kind of change in terms of how we approach all of this, because we have to we definitely have to make some changes to get this going. Lord Skippy, what's up, man? We got somebody in here chilling with us. How's it going, man? I was just playing on your phone in the background. Glad to sneak into your room like that. But yeah, there's stuff that needs to change, and to be honest, it's not really going to affect you guys. It's more just to keep you all informed of what's going on. I'm sure many of you have noticed I've been dabbling in other games a little bit here and there. That's always been part of the plan, but diversifying the stuff that I cover is something I've always wanted to do. I want to cover a lot of space games, and there's a lot of space games coming out now. So you're probably going to start to see more different games, especially on this channel. Maybe not so much on the main channel, but on things like Hard Space, Starfield, Falling Frontier, No Man's Sky, Empyrean. There's a few different games I want to start to try out in terms of streaming, in terms of just looking at their features. So I hope you guys are interested in seeing that, and if you're not, too bad. But really though, it's some exciting stuff and it's interesting stuff. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to diversifying. Anyways, it is a Q&A. We're doing questions and answers. Hopefully my Qs, or rather your Qs, can get aid. And Lord Skippy, being the supporter who is still here, or rather who has been here today, feel free to throw down some extra questions here on the spot. I know you have one from before, so we'll answer that. But let's see what everybody else asked. We've got a ton of things to go over today, so let's check it out. And JK, we got one question. At least it's an easy month. Let's see. So actually, no, we don't have any questions. We just had comments. Really, I don't think people really care at all about these. But we did get a comment about Turkish food, which I had a lot of Turkish food when I was over in Turkey. Which, fun fact, actually, they changed the name of the country. The country's name is no longer officially Turkey. It is now Turkiye, which is the name of the country in Turkish, but they would like to be recognized as that worldwide, which, I can get behind. Like, yo, call us by who we are. I actually found out earlier this year that Iran is a name that was used by locals, whereas Persia was a name that other people had kind of given to the country. And so then people in the country wanted, hey, rest of the world, maybe call it what we call it, Iran. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I was seeing in terms of how that country's name kind of developed. And I think that's pretty cool. So I'm down for Turkey changing their name, and I'm going to try and use the new one as much as I can. You also might notice that my camera's messing up. Like I said, this is just a webcam that I managed to grab because my cam link stopped working. I needed something, right, to show videos. So we got it, and at least there's something. I'm a little flickery. I look like I just came out of episode of The Matrix. I don't know, it's a little weird. But yeah, I had a ton of Turkish food while we were over there. In fact, a lot of the times when I'm in Turkey, I gain weight, mainly because, well, there's a lot of eating. It's also kind of hard to work out over there. At least in the city that we go to, the gyms don't open till 9 a.m., which is well into my workday, so I don't get to go to the gym. And then there's a lot of like baklava and a lot of carbs. So it just kind of stacks up. This time though, I didn't really gain much weight. It was pretty straightforward. And we were only there for 3 weeks, but I've got more to say on that later in the month. Probably pretty soon, like in the next few days. Deutschland is only used by Germans. All other languages made up weird fake names for our country. Like Germans. So what is the name for Germans then? By Germans? Deutschmans? Or the Deutsch? You gotta tell me that one. All right. So the only other question that I got for this one is actually a 2-month-old question in the question and answer thread on my Discord server, and it's actually from Lord Skippy. So good on you, dude. You get live answers to your old questions. So Lord Skippy asked, where in the world have you been so far? Which aspects did you like/dislike at the different places, and where would you like to go and why? Deutschland? Germans call other Germans Deutschland? Well, that's interesting. It's like me calling my friends America, I guess. Hey, America! How you doing? Good to see you. Oh, yeah, America. It's been a little while. Good to see you as well. Americas unite. All the Americas. But we call you Germans. All right. Well, I'll start calling you Deutschland then. If that rolls a little better off the tongue. I don't know. I feel weird. But I'll take your word for it. So, where have I been in the world? No. No, it's too late, man. I'm set on it. Deutschland. You are now Deutschland in my eyes. Welcome to the party, Deutschland. Deutschland has joined the chat. Deutschland is in Florida. Let's see. So outside of the States, I'm just going to do that because traveling in the States is boring. Let's see. Well, no, okay. So we'll talk about in the country. So I've been to Florida. Gosh, living wise, we'll say I've lived in Florida, New York, and California. I visited a bunch of the other states, but honestly, I wasn't there long enough to really get a good idea for it. I think people kind of don't realize how much the states actually differ. Like, that's something that I didn't notice until my wife started pointing it out, because she's not lived in many states in America. We met in Florida, and their second state to experience was California. So she got a pretty decent amount of contrast between the two states she got to live in. But when she started to point out to me, like, the really little things, you don't realize that you go one place and you see houses built in specific ways, roads are done in specific ways, neighborhoods look different ways. Like, it can really change back and forth across states. But enough of that. That's boring. Besides that, the place I've been most is Turkey, obviously, having lived there for a few years now. But I've also traveled to England, Italy, Spain, Greece, France, Netherlands, Belgium, Ireland, Mexico, Canada, Montenegro, and I believe... Portugal. And I believe that's it. Went through Wales. Gotta say, Wales really stuck with me too. Wales is like the place I spent the least amount of time, but holy crap, if I learned anything there, it is that town names can go so far beyond what I thought was necessary. Seriously, the names of cities in Wales was one of the most eye-opening things I've ever seen. All my travels I've never been more amazed than by than by those city names. They're like, I'm not even gonna try and explain it to you. Just go look it up. Just Google like crazy Welsh names of cities, and you're gonna get like Sakamlada, you know, just a lot. But it's cool. It's cool. You know, it's a different kind of culture. So I don't know. I don't have much to say about Wales, but England itself as a whole, I'll say the UK, was a gloomy place. Luckily for me, I like that kind of weather. I don't know. I need to get more time to go there, to be honest. I have more to say about Ireland than I do England. I had an amazing time in Ireland. Ireland is the only place where I've been able to get drunk in an alleyway at 2 a.m. in the morning and have a dance party with a random band, 12 strangers, and a dude on a bike taxi. It was so much fun. I got videos of it and everything. It was, I had a great time in Ireland. That was actually the first place me and my friend ever went when we got to Europe, and it was just a fantastic introduction. Netherlands has been my favorite place, I think, so far. I've fallen in love with Amsterdam. The architecture, the way that the city was built. So I started out in engineering, and I really liked civil engineering. I didn't go into it, but I've always loved city design, and the way that Amsterdam was built and built out over history is really, really interesting, with the canals and the different ways that they had to cut off water and make sure that the neighborhoods were separated. And then also Amsterdam, as I learned last time I was there, was a really big part of the Holocaust. So I learned a lot about how, being on the border of Germany during that time just developed a lot of the history and, not great history at that period, but the history of that city and the importance of it. And so just like the different amount of context that I got staying in that city and seeing all these different things throughout history, all the way until modern times, seeing how much Amsterdam was kind of like a symbol of more forward-thinking kind of culture. I really, really love it. And then the vibe just walking around there is very cool. But we get to go back to the Netherlands this year. I'm going with my family. My parents are taking a trip out there, so I'll get to see a little bit more of it and hopefully learn some more, because I didn't spend that much time there. Really liked Montenegro. That was the most recent place we went. And to be honest, one of the things I didn't like about that place is something I don't like about Turkey, something I don't like about Portugal, and a lot of the other places I travel, and that is how much freaking control Coca-Cola has. That was like the number one thing that stood out to me, was Coca-Cola's everywhere. Billboards on the road, buses have Coca-Cola on them. Freaking restaurants that are completely separate from Coca-Cola have Coca-Cola on their logos. Umbrellas have Coca-Cola. Water bottles have Coca-Cola. The freaking salt shakers on some of the tables had Coca-Cola on them. Like, it's ridiculous. It's that new form of colonialism. I get that, but man, it's just sad. It's like too much. It's too much. But the Montenegro feels like one of those places that isn't necessarily a first choice to go visit as a tourist, but wow, you should. Holy crap. The food is great as long as you're staying away from the coast. The coast, I felt, got a little bit generic with its food, but inland food was amazing. The sights were beautiful. The air was clean, wonderful. The people were kind. I just had a blast there. So that was a really cool trip. And then let's see, Lord Skippy asked about in Mexico. Where in Mexico and how did I like it? So I didn't spend too much time there, actually. Honey, my wife, lived in Mexico. That was part of what we had to do initially when we were hit with the whole complication that caused us to have to move our lives around. She actually ended up needing to live in Mexico while I lived in Florida, just so that we could be a little bit closer to each other and see each other every couple of months or every month. So I didn't get to experience it too much. She lived in Cancun for about 6 months, I want to say. And she liked it. Obviously, I mean, it's Cancun. But at the same time, it was also, you're a little bit limited in a city like Cancun. You know, there's a nice area where the tourism is, the beaches, the hotels, those are nice. And despite those being nice, while she was staying there, they did find dead bodies on the beach, which was not great. It's not necessarily something that happens every week, but it did happen while she was there, which was a little bit iffy. But going inland into the city, things quickly got a little bit less friendly and inviting. And so it was just one of those things that, you know, you don't notice when you're visiting for a couple days, but you live there for a while and you start to see, okay, maybe this doesn't have all of the facilities or amenities that I would normally like to enjoy in normal life. And we're not particularly spoiled people. We've lived a lot of different places in the not best environments, but that was definitely a temporary living situation for her. Besides that, though, we definitely had fun there. We met a lot of cool people. She had great roommates. We got to take care of one of her roommate's dogs while we were there for a little while, which was a lot of fun. It was a cutie. So overall, you know, we've enjoyed all the places that we've gone, but we've definitely had some hiccups here and there as we've traveled. Amsterdam is one of your least favorite cities in Europe. People are even more rude than Germans. Why is it one of your least favorite? I actually didn't get to encounter the people themselves too much. When we travel, we're very much to ourselves. So that could be something that I missed. You witnessed a drive-by shooting in Cancun? Oh. Well, see now, Lord Skippy, I feel like you are a magnet for not great things. What other country did you go to where something bad happened, man? But I know Honey's favorite place we've been is, or at least one of the top 3, I'll say, is Porto in Portugal, which was just a fantastic trip. And I keep talking about these places. Most of these places that we got to go were family vacations. We're not balling out on money and taking awesome vacations ourselves. These were, the Montenegro thing was a big trip that we took for her birthday, but all these other ones are kind of was just hanging out with my parents, to be honest. But she had a blast at Porto, and so did I. Porto's a really cool city. It's a nice size. It's kind of got a cool, I don't want to say small town, but we'll say medium-sized kind of town, just a homey feel, but it has everything that you would expect from a big city in terms of services. I mean, there's a giant river going through it where you can take river cruises and stuff, but it's famous for its port. It's where we were introduced to the love of port, and we got to enjoy that a lot. But yeah, you know, Porto was a really good place. I would say that about rounds up the best places we've got to visit so far. There's a lot more that we would love to do. We're both very obsessed with traveling, but you know, money it's expensive to do so. So right now we're focused more on the business and pushing this forward and getting it to a point where it can support us living and hopefully eventually traveling at some point. You got robbed in Paris at knife point? Dude. Lord Skippy. Just like the worst luck I've ever seen. Question, food-wise, which country is your favorite in terms of food? Turkey. That's easy. Definitely Turkey. Turkey's blown me away in terms of food. You know, I'm a strong believer that every culture has their own amazing food. But Turkey has blown my mind in that it can get me eating foods that I did not think I was going to like and falling in love with them. Moussaka with the eggplants. I don't like eggplant. Like, I don't even like the texture of it, you know? Eating an eggplant with like meat inside and it's a little smushy at times, and normally I'd be like, nah. But that stuff's good. And I think more than anything, I've been to many places where they're serving food that I already liked, that I'm like, this is the best of this I've ever had. I've this pasta, this pizza. Ooh, the pizza we had in Italy. That always happens. But it's a rarity when I go to a place and they give me food that I'm like, I'm not gonna like that. And then I eat it and I'm like, more, yeah. So I think Turkey gets that one. I would say, let's see. Turkey turned me on to tea. So that's new, and of course many places could have done that, but Turkey, it's like indoctrination. Second place though, I would say probably goes to Spain, actually. So I really loved the food in Italy, but Spain with their tapas. Oh, that's another thing that was kind of like Turkey. Now, I'm not gonna say I didn't like the stuff that was in tapas before, but I had never really considered eating small dishes of different things like that over and over, especially not, the heavily potato-based meats or potato-based dishes and the ham and stuff like that. But I remember we went to Spain and I got to try that. And from then on, I got back to America and I was like, I got to find a tapas restaurant. And that's actually one of the places me and my wife first kind of started going on dates for brunch, was a tapas place we found in Orlando, Florida. And yeah, I haven't gotten to eat them that much, but that's always been a good favorite of mine. So yeah, I think Turkey and Spain really did it for me in terms of new foods, but I would also say that I haven't gotten to explore that much. I've gotten a decent amount of stuff to see, but there's plenty more that I'd like to. But that's kind of it, I think, for today, guys. We really didn't have any questions. This was a cool little 20-minute conversation. I'm surprised we got 20 minutes out of this. Yeah, in terms of like what else is going on with Space Tomato and stuff, like I said towards the beginning, I'm taking a step back. We're at a crossroads here with Space Tomato where we've finally gotten to the point of, this either has to work or we need to turn around and consider something else. And, some of the signs will tell you one thing, but to be honest, I love this too much. I want to keep it going. Honey wants to keep this going. This is our business. This is our family business, and I think we've got something good. So we are, like I said, going to make some major changes just to keep this going. But I'll be experimenting a lot over the next few months to continue looking for ways to make sure that we can keep it going. Whether that mean putting out different types of content, new content, or, just changing up the content a little bit that we've been doing. I'm excited for it. The ideas so far that we've come up with have been great, and the workflow that we're developing right now is good. We got a new editor that we're starting to work with that we're getting onboarded. So once he's up to speed and things are rolling, I think we'll be back up to full production. Start putting out more videos here, start putting out some more videos on the main channel, and focus on getting the stream up and running to a quality and a standard that you guys like. But beat that YouTube algorithm. Yeah, well, hopefully. Beat the YouTube algorithm or beat Star Citizen fans over the head to watch the videos. Either way, gotta find a way to convince people that it's worth it. And if not, then swivel to find the content that is. But either way, I am enjoying it, I'm having fun, and I'm looking for all the ways to keep doing it. Anyways, thank you all for your support. Skippy, thanks so much for being here live. I appreciate it. Next month's is going to be, I think, a little bit better with more chance to prepare and get some more of the word out ahead of time. But I appreciate you dropping by, dude. And anybody who came to watch this after the fact, thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful month. I'll see you in May. And feel free to ask any other questions down below, or make sure to keep an eye out for the post for next month's monthly Q&A. Anyways, bye guys. Have a good one.